Good Monday morning. Good Monday morning. Sorry, I gotta get my music turned off. Good Monday morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. It is great to be back from a beautiful weekend in the 90s. I hear people reporting in the 90s you put all of your beautiful lake pictures up as you were out there on the boats. Yesterday was a beautiful Mother's Day. I hope you enjoyed your day out in the sunshine with your family. We are back here in North Georgia. Love being here. Let's see, how do we get in touch with the show? Let's start the week out right. 706-889-9700, 706-889-9700. And you can also text the show at any time. We'd like to hear what you think throughout the week when the show is going on. Hey, if you disagree with me, say it. That's what it's all about, all right? Do it. If you agree with me, say it. Odds are you will agree with me more than you disagree. Anyhow. Chief at FetcherNews.com. This is Chief at FetcherNews.com is my email address. Follow us on Twitter at FetcherNews, at FYNTV. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetcher News, and anytime we're doing a live broadcast, you will get a notification. Okay, Friday, I'm talking to the DA about a case. Do you remember? I forget when it was. There, 3 individuals were charged. There's the 3 individuals. We'll have some more on it today. But the 3 individuals that were charged were for robbing the AT&T store. Remember, they robbed the AT&T store in Blue Ridge, Georgia. These 3 individuals, they were charged. And they were found guilty Friday. But an interesting thing took place. The DA said she had never, that's B. Allison Sosby, said she had never seen this in her life. It took, I'm just going to use 7, 8 deputies to get it under control. One of them, I don't know which one it is, took to flopping on the floor like a fish and went crazy, okay? Saying they were Jesus and just absolutely went crazy, flopping on the floor, threw a real fit. I understand Judge Weaver was having none of it, did not put up with it, did not tolerate it a second. So one of them, I don't know which one. I wish I did, right? But it was. I heard that Friday was quite an interesting time in the Fannin County Courthouse as these 3 individuals were tried, and that case went on all week as these 3 individuals were tried for the robbery of the AT&T store in Blue Ridge. They will be. The one that felt that said, I guess, feel they are Jesus and threw themselves a tantrum on the floor of the courtroom, flopping around, and it was flopping around like a fish, went straight off to Milledgeville to, kind of like take some time away. Immediately got shipped to Milledgeville, and the other 2 will be sentenced this Thursday for robbing the AT&T store, so we thought we'd open with that. Okay, that being said, we don't need to see them any longer. It is tomorrow, just a couple quick notes, and then we're going to get into the top story today for me. It's just, for me, this top story is an example of the failure of Congress. Now, Congress is a whole, okay? It is all 100. It is all 100 senators. Combined with 435 members of the House of Representatives, that makes up Congress. Now, Congress as a whole is a failure. Now, you may be roaring out there already this morning, well, my congressman or congresswoman from the so-and-so district of somewhere, they're an awesome person. Okay, fine. Well, my senator is a great, okay, fine. As a whole, Congress is a failure, and once again, President Donald Trump has to come along and set the failures. Do you realize that this president is setting the record straight on failures of Congress and this country and the State Department all the way back from the 90s on a whole list of things that they just screwed up and could not get straight? But before we get into that, tomorrow is the primary in Pennsylvania. Nothing really big to see there. I didn't get a picture together, but nothing really big to see there, except for I'm really pulling for Lou Bartoletta. Lou Bartoletta is running against a state representative there, or senator in Pennsylvania. I forget the guy's name. But anyhow, he is going for the Republican primary nominee to run against Bob Casey Jr. in the state of Pennsylvania. So tomorrow is Pennsylvania primary. Not a lot of big things on the ballot, unless you're local there in PA. You got a governor's race and so forth. But I'll pull it for Lou Bartoletta. Now, this week it's crunch time. Now, obviously, not next Tuesday, because that would be tomorrow. So what would you say, Amanda? Tuesday week?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm relying on you to know that. Okay. Anyhow, Tuesday week is the primary election in Georgia. So this week is going to be, for those out there that have their eyes open and pay attention, it's going to be a lot of fun, because this is the week that the candidate has to throw the last, don't take this wrong, this is not a terroristic threat. Got to be careful on you. No, you got to throw the last bomb in.
We have a delay.
No. We got to have this is the week they got to throw the bomb out there. They got to throw the Hail Mary. Because to my opinion, in the state of Georgia, it's down to 3 for governor. But in the Secretary of State, in the Lieutenant Governor, who is going to launch those bombs this week to try to assert themselves to get into the runoff? Because a lot... Go ahead.
I've got one bomb for you.
All right, go for it.
So,
excuse me would be appropriate next.
I saw on Facebook where Brian Kemp is already launching his victory party on next Tuesday night.
Oh, all right.
In Athens.
Oh.
So that got a lot of attention on Facebook.
Okay, well, bring that up a little later. I like that. Okay.
I will.
All right, so this week is a big, we're going to watch for it. Now, Insider Advantage, Phil, there's not a lot of polling. And I want to talk about the governor's race a little later this morning, right around 8:30. But the governor's race, because there's some interesting things there that I'm not for sure some people are paying attention to. And but Phil Kent of the Insider Advantage said there would be a poll. I think he said there'd be a poll midweek, that they were going to try to put one out last week, but they decided to pause it, I guess, is my understanding. So maybe midweek we get some polling numbers that have some accuracy on what's going on in the governor's race. So also, before we, let's get into promises made, promises kept. So let's go with, put up the picture, let's go with, let's go with who I wish was alive today to see this moment. Where's Yasser? You remember Yasser, okay? Here is Yasser. How many damn times I gotta say Yasser?
I got it.
All right. Here is Yasser Arafat. Remember? I wish he was alive today to get to see the opening of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. I wish, Yasser. Now remember, Yasser and, where's Bill Clinton? Where's Yasser, Bill Clinton, and Rabin? It's Rabin or whatever his name is. There you go. There's Bill Clinton and Yasser and the Jewish Prime Minister from Israel, Rabin. Oh, what a time that was. But Clinton still didn't have the nerve to pull the trigger and open the embassy. Today, Steve Mnuchin, Secretary Treasurer Steve Mnuchin, Jared Kushner, and Ivanka Trump are among the American delegation. Put their picture up. They're among the American delegation that is there to celebrate the opening of the new U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. The capital moved it from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And let's just go through the pictures. U.S. Embassy 1. Here are some of the pictures, the American flag and the Israeli flags. That's U.S. Embassy picture 1. Let's go to Embassy picture 2. That as you come up through there, I think the one picture says Trump. As you drive up to the embassy, what does that Trump picture say on the banner? That's not 2. Stay on 2. That's not 2. What's that banner say? Trump make Israel great, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Then you got embassy picture number 3. There's actually a picture of the embassy. And then you got embassy picture number 4. Welcome to Jerusalem, U.S. Embassy. All right. And stay right there with the welcome to Jerusalem, U.S. Embassy. Now, that being said, this morning, the president is following through with another failed, your Congress, a failed Congress. The negative news, I watch MSNBC at 6 a.m. and the negative news, and they are just so negative. They were stuck on Michael Cohen. They were stuck on how negative this is. They were stuck on Jerusalem and our allies would not be attending, and how we're hurting peace with the Palestinians. That's why I wish Yasser was alive to see this. And so on and so forth. But let's keep one thing in mind. As the negative news, CNN and all of them, they will briefly tell you this. They will briefly say that the other presidents promised this in the past. But it will not make the headline. It will not be the forefront of any of their broadcasting. In the 104th Congress, Jerusalem Embassy Act of 1995. Now, this was not a resolution, okay? The Jerusalem Embassy Act of 1995 is a public law. It's a law, folks, okay, of the United States, passed by the 104th Congress on October 23rd, 1995. It was passed for the purpose of initiating the funding, the relocation of the Embassy of the United States in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem to no later than May 1999. In 1995, a law was passed. It was supposed to be done no longer than May of 1999, and attempted to withhold 50% of the funds appropriate to the State Department specifically for the acquisition and the maintenance of building abroad is allocated in the fiscal year 1999 until the United States Embassy in Jerusalem had officially opened. Since 1999, they have allocated the money. They keep allocating the money to make an acquisition of somewhere to put it and the maintenance, okay? Until the United States had officially opened. The act also called for Jerusalem to remain an undivided city and for it to be recognized as the capital of the state of Israel. Now, here's the second part they don't want to talk about this morning, okay? That in 1995, Congress said Jerusalem was not a divided city. It was a unified city within the borders of the nation of Israel. Okay, let's be clear on that. That's what your Congress said. Your do-nothing, no-good, cowardly Congress, all right? And they said it was not to be divided, all right? The act also called for Jerusalem to remain an undivided city and it to be recognized as the capital of the state of Israel. Palestinians don't want to recognize it as the capital. The world does not want to recognize it as the capital. Germany does not want to recognize it as the capital. Great Britain, the EU, the list goes on. They do not want to recognize it as the capital of Israel. They do not want to recognize it as an undivided city. They think that they want half of the city. Right now, the Palestinians say, no, it's a divided city. Israel says, no, it is not. It's Jerusalem. It's within our borders. It's our city. It's the capital. Your Congress said so also. Israel's declared capital is Jerusalem, but this is not internationally recognized. See, it's not internationally recognized pending final status talks in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Oh, 95. Let's see. Wouldn't that be like where Bill Clinton's backslapping Rabin and Yasser Arafat? Put them up. Yasser Arafat, right? I wonder what year that was. Let's see. Bill Clinton was president in the 90s. This took place in 95, right? Let's see. Wasn't Bill Clinton somewhere around there about that time when this actual law was put into place? Okay, and see, the act also called for Jerusalem to remain undivided, but it is not internationally recognized pending the final status talks of Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Well, Bill Clinton must have cleared that up. The United States has withheld recognition of the city as Israel's capital. The proposed law was adopted. Ready? The proposed law was adopted by the Senate 93-5. Don't know who the other cowards. 93, 5 is 98, so 2 are missing. 93-5 it passed the Senate. And the House, it passed 374-37. Since the passage, the law has never been implemented because of the opposition from President Clinton, right? Bush and Obama, who view it as a congressional infringement on the executive branch's constitutional authority over foreign policy. They have consistently claimed the presidential waiver on national security interests. So every time it came up, they did a presidential waiver saying it violated the president's executive branch's constitutional authority. So let's just say this. It took a 1995 Congress to put this in place, and it took a president that finally said, my congressional authority, my executive authority, okay, I'm not going to use that as a scapegoat, as a coward like Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Hussein Obama. So put back up, welcome to Jerusalem. As of this morning, folks, the United States Embassy, as of this morning, the Jerusalem Embassy Act of 1995, recognizing Jerusalem as an undivided city, a whole city within the boundaries of the nation of Israel, recognizing Jerusalem as the capital, and recognizing that we have moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So once again, Donald Trump, the president that has to clean up one of those early 90s mess. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Now, the media out there are going nuts because Pastor Jeffers, which said all Jews are going to hell or whatever. I don't know. I'm going down that road. That's what the media found to talk about this morning. So if you're tuned into the negative news network, NNN, right? That would be if you're tuned into NNN, right? Negative news networks all over the land. You're hearing that Jeffers, okay, Pastor Jeffers from Dallas or whatever is over there representing America and will say the prayer at the opening ceremony for the delegation of the United States of America. Okay. Then you're also hearing how Mitt Romney, Lurch out there, Lurch or Herman Munster, whichever one he looks like. Mitt Romney out there in U-Haul says, it's just wrong that, Jeffers is there saying the prayer when, he said all these negative things about Mormons and Muslims and Jews, which reminds me, this morning they're going to have, it sounds like a joke. So it sounds like a joke this morning. So a reverend, a pastor, a rabbi, and an imam go into an embassy, walk into an embassy together, right? Sound like a joke. Anyhow, thank you, Donald Trump, once again. And now we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back after we get done with the break, and we'll talk about the North Korean summit, that's next up that he's cleaning up. And don't forget, we'll talk a little bit about Iran. And then, Amanda, you're like page 6 in the New York Post.
TMZ.
Yeah, you are.
That's what Rhinestone and Burlap call me.
You're the TMZ. You're like page 6. Now, put this up. Did you hear this? Guess which picture I want you to put up now.
Without you saying anything?
Without me saying anything, let's say this. It came from page 6 of
Nicole Wallace?
Huh?
Nicole Wallace?
No.
You got me.
Don and Kimberly.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, supposedly Don Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle. They're an item. I got that off page 6. Who doesn't get up? Huh?
Are you surprised that happened?
But who doesn't get up and read page 6? Who doesn't? Yeah, Don Jr. What do you mean am I surprised? Don Jr. going through a divorce. Oh, yeah. They were seen out at some parties this past weekend together. You can get that right on page 6. You should check it out. I'm your host, BKP. Hey, wait a minute. We have a big debate coming up here tomorrow on this show. We'll have a debate from 9 to 10. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the governor's race. I want to talk briefly about North Korea before I get into the state of Georgia politics. I want to talk about North Korea and the negative news networks, plural, that have nothing good to say. Do they ever have anything good to say? I think it's a beautiful Monday in North Georgia. I hope it's a beautiful Monday in your neighborhood. We'll be back right after this.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
I've had the time of my life. Lady, and this is my husband, Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in J next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in J next to Walmart.
Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Let me tell you a little bit of what we have going on this week. First and foremost, after the show, at 10 o'clock, do not leave, okay? Do not leave this show. Tell your friends you have a full hour instant replay. North Georgia's only live online Monday morning live sports show coming at you. These guys are working on it every week. We're getting everything together, making sure things come together. So at least by the time we get to high school football, we've got the smoothest Monday morning show, sports show there is out there. Live right after my show, instant replay with Dave Garner. You guys just don't want to miss that. And if you have information on sports or something you want to talk about, or you want to send Dave about sports in North Georgia, regardless of what it is, 706-889-9700. You can text Dave also, and I hope they're giving that number out during the show. You can also send Dave messages there. 706-889-9700. Just put instant replay on the message so we'll know it needs to go to Dave Garner. That's right after today. Now tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and let's run these things real quick before we get into North Korea. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we will have right here for 1 hour Mickey Cummings. Put up Mickey Cummings. He is. This is the 8th, the Georgia House seat 8th district debate between Mickey Cummings. He is the opponent. And the incumbent, Matthew Gutler. They will be right here in studio. We'll have them right here, the three of us. We will have a 1 hour debate just with these candidates. Now, the reason I did this is I'm not going to get into whether, true or false, any of this. I'm not going to get into it. But in this race, there has been no debates. Okay? That's number one. Number two, apparently there's a couple been scheduled, and due to scheduling conflicts, maybe Mr. Cummings could not make the debates. Whatever. But Matthew Gutler is the ultimate no vote in Atlanta on the Republican side. He voted no more than any other Republican. to the area tune is somewhere around 38%. He does 38% of the time. He doesn't see it like everybody else or whatever, or the Republican caucus there. So an unusual turn of events have taken place to where Governor Nathan Deal and Georgia House Speaker of the House, and Governor Nathan Deal will be Wednesday night at the Union County from 5 to 7. We'll be there for a rally for Mickey Cummings from 5 to 7. That's the governor of the state of Georgia and the Speaker of the House, David Ralston. It's unusual to campaign against a sitting incumbent in your party, but they must feel he needs to go, and they must feel he's not good for the 8th District. So we're going to find out tomorrow in a debate. We're going to talk about all those kind of things. We're going to talk about it right here. That's at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, what else do we have happening? Well, Wednesday night, we're going to be up there. I'm going to do Facebook Live comments on, you need to follow us on Facebook, Fetcher News on Facebook. I'm going to do Facebook Live Wednesday night. For sure, we got something every night of this week. Now, before we get to our state discussion on some, let's talk about the North Korea upcoming summit and meetings in Singapore in June. Now, Rick, since Friday, I think more and more, I think more and more since Friday, since you posed the question, is everything done? I'm feeling strongly everything's done. It's been done for a while. They're working on it. They're working the details out. The media has not happened. Do we have a picture of Pompeo and Trump and Kim, or who do we have this morning? There you go. There's Mike Pompeo. That may end up being... Mike Pompeo may end up having one of the greatest treaties or agreements, peace agreements, signed and in place as a Secretary of State, the fastest in office of any Secretary of State in history. Now, that's something you need to go look up because it'd be interesting to find out. It's very possible 90 days on the job, because in June, we got May, June, it'd be less than that. So 70 days on the job, it's very possible that this man will have put together, not single-handedly, okay, but will have put together, for the most part, a diplomatic effort to put a peace agreement in front of these two men, Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump. Absolutely. I mean, the media has nothing good to say about it. The negative news networks will not run this. They will not run it on the front page. And the 3 released hostages are now free from medical review here in the United States to go home. They've asked to have their privacy observed, and they're very thankful and appreciative, but they have gone home now. They have actually left the 3 Korean Americans that were freed last week through diplomatic relationships with Mike Pompeo and Kim Jong-un and the President of the United States have now gone home. Pompeo has done an outstanding job. Outstanding job. The entire team has done an outstanding job. Everything's been put into place. Now, here's the talk. Kim Jong-un is going to blow up his nuclear test site facility. Going to blow it up. He's invited journalists to come see. All right? Now, the world is amazed at what a set of can do. The world is amazed that if, Obama is not bowing to somebody, and we're not asking the world's forgiveness for being the evil Americans as we did the last 8 years. You remember in George W. Bush, he talked a big talk when he was at the podium at the, State of the Union address when he called North Korea an axis of evil. And George W. Bush squandered it, folks. At the time that we were attacked on 9/11, George Bush had a blank check from the American people. The American people basically said, with a 98% approval rating, 96% whatever, for this little period of 100 days or something, George W. Bush, go do what you have to do. Destroy who you have to destroy, take care of it, get it done. If George W. Bush, right then and there, he could have handled the North Korean issue, and he failed to. This is a failure all the way back from the 50s, which George H. Bush, Jimmy Carter, George H. Bush, all the list goes all the way down through. Ronald Reagan didn't get it done. But the failures that Donald Trump is cleaning up right now. Now, the media cannot accept nothing here. Nothing good. They keep looking for the problem. They keep looking for, well, what's Kim up to? You know, have you read the accounts, okay? Have you read the accounts of pilots that fly in this region of the world that see the lights from above, from South Korea, and then total darkness in North Korea? Total darkness. I mean, they will see. The pilots have talked about how they could see the illumination down there on the earth of South Korea, and then just the perimeter black, just black as could be in North Korea. This guy has a plane, folks. Now, this is a guy that we're concerned about, and I think we should be, and I think the president should handle this, okay? Kim Jong-un's summit Singapore presents logistic challenges for North Korea. The choice of Singapore site is the first ever meeting for sit-down the South U.S. President and North Korean leader. All right? Kim Jong-un has a plane that was discontinued like in 1995, 1998. Russia built them for Aeroflot. Okay? The last major airline disaster, 270 some dead, are these planes, these models of planes. This guy has an old Russian plane that they haven't built since 95. Came out in the 70s. This guy doesn't have a fleet of planes. They don't have airports. This guy cannot make it to Singapore without refueling. They have to stop to refuel to get this guy to Singapore. They have the train they call the bullet train that he went to China. They did a test run on this plane and took it to China. The cargo plane cannot fly more than 3,000 kilometers without refueling if carrying full load. It is therefore has to stop off at a friendly location like Vietnam's capital on the way to Singapore or fly with a reduced load. It can't make it. It can't carry what he needs and get it to him. Unlike his father, Kim Jong-un, who died in 2011, who traveled by armored train on rare trips abroad because he feared being shot down, according to North Korean defector families with his security detail. The young leader is now known to be adverse to flying. Okay, I'm not going to go into it much further. What I wanted to point out is I have looked at this Donald Trump's, Kim Jong-un's private jet and where he can fly them to meet Trump. That was part of, believe it or not, his jet, and where he could get to was part of trying to figure out where they could meet. Seriously. and his bullet train that runs that his dad used. 17 or 22 mile an hour, no joke. If it gets rolling, it can get up to 20. Is what this guy, this is the way they're living. They want electricity. I believe seriously, because every talking head around the table, watch and listen. Well, what's he getting out of the deal? Is he rolling Trump? How many more times do you have to hear, is he rolling Trump? No, he's not rolling Trump. Trump and the mustache. Where's the mustache? Okay? Once the deal is done, the mustache is going to go in and he's going to sweep up. That's John Bolton. And John Bolton's going to go in, National Security Advisor, and he's going to tell Trump, and he's telling Trump, they are saying dismantle, denuclearize. See, Trump and Pompeo and the mustache are very clear. Hey, we want human rights. We want you to release the hostages. Trump is going to talk to him eye to eye about the Japanese hostages. They have a lot of Japanese hostages. They have South Korean hostages. So they're going to talk about that, and they want clear denuclearization, meaning dismantle. And Trump is not going to get rolled. Trump, Pompeo, and Bolton are not going to get rolled. They're going to make sure that there's a team goes in place that starts watching them dismantle. Trust me. They're going to start building over there. North Korea is going to start building power plants. We're going to start building power plants for these people. All right? What is he going to get? This is not a joke. Donald Trump's probably going to send him some Chevys. I'm serious. You will possibly see in the next 24 months American manufactured products sent into North Korea. You probably will. You'll probably see, this is a chance for, Donald Trump to make sure every little North Korean out there has a Chevy or a Ford, has an American-made car. I'm serious. There's no joke. Watch what happens in June. But here is a country, a regime that we're worried about if Donald Trump, Mike Pompeo, and John Bolton and our State Department is going to get rolled, going to get taken advantage of. We're talking about a guy that can't even get out of the country without refueling. He can't fly to Singapore. He's got a 1995, worst case is the latest year, a 98 jet is how old this aircraft is that he has. His people, we're going to start importing beef. We're going to start building power plants. Watch what happens here. This is going to be amazing. Just my opinion, it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be amazing for the South Korea. All right, it's going to be amazing for Vietnam, all of them. It's going to be absolutely amazing for North and South Korea, what's getting ready to happen. But the thing you have to watch for is China in the South China Sea there with their military and what they have done and what Obama has allowed them to do in the last 8 years. I'm going to take another break. We're going to come back. But I just wanted to be clear. North Korea, get ready. North Korea, get ready, because you're not going to hear positive. The media is going to sit every day and figure out that, they're sitting at these tables and they're saying, you got to give Trump some credit. But you got to give Trump some credit. But you got to give Trump some credit. But, okay? Listen, President Donald J. Trump cleaning up another post-90s mess that's been made.
Very well spoken.
All right. Let's take a break. We're going to come back, talk about Iran, and we are going to get into so many other things that are going on this morning around Georgia politics. I want to talk about that. Take us a break, Amanda.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's T-E-A-S. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Over Stockton LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Over Stockton LJ next to Walmart.
Better days ahead.
Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. The place where truth prevails. Right? Write that down. What the hell are you doing in there this morning?
I'm writing down the place where truth prevails.
Write it down. Why did you screw the show up Friday?
Oh my God, I wasn't even here.
You put a short in that cable.
Oh.
You did.
You know, That's what I was doing. I put a short in the cable, and I was sitting on the beach, and I was thinking to myself,
No, the problem is poor Lonnie got Lonnie was all set up to have a knockout 2-hour show, and there's no camera. And then we find out, well, there's a short in the cable from, it played last week. And, you were the last to put the cable up. And that's the rules around here. You're the last to put the cables up, so that means you broke it. And then Sam had to run up there in emergency and bail it out, and your ass is sitting on a beach somewhere.
I know. I trust me, I was with the whole ordeal.
All right. Look, folks, we've got we apologize for what did take place Friday with the delay of the show. Just plugged in the camera and didn't have our electricity. The good news is the cord went out, the short and the cord, and we were able to order a new one. If the plug-in on the back of the camera would have been bad, that was scary because that would be a hard thing to fix. So there is an upside. All right.
And for people that did miss, all those archives are going up today, doing a little catch up.
Okay. Yeah, always doing catch up. All right, folks, let me just say something before we get started. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show, 706-889-9700. Say that 3 times fast, chief at FetcherNews.com. And stay tuned at 10 a.m. for Instant Replay with Dave Garner. Dave Garner's Instant Replay sports show, only live online sports show in North Georgia. Now, let me get to this. Israeli snipers kill Palestinians and more than 900 are injured as 35,000 protesters rally against today's U.S. Embassy opening in Jerusalem following Al-Qaeda call for jihad. How come we didn't call for no jihad when we opened? I mean, so, a call for jihad. Al-Qaeda called for it, and there it is. Palestinian. Yasser, if you could have only been there, you'd be leading the way. People, they do not care about these Palestinians over there. They don't care about them. Not the Jews. I'm talking way for the Saudis and everybody. They don't care. They don't care. They're not trying to find the Palestinians a home. All right, here's the point. That will be the lead on the negative news networks. Will be Israeli snipers kill Palestinians as more than 900 are injured, over 35,000. That will be the lead of all the news. They will show you the Molotov cocktails that they're throwing. They will show you all the smoke. They will show you Israeli snipers shooting down a Palestinian. Look, here is what the protest is over. Not moving the embassy. If the embassy moved to Jerusalem without symbolizing a unified Jerusalem, without the United States recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital, you have Temple Mount, the Temple Mount, okay? The most holiest spots there where they have the Muslim temple there. Whatever it's called. I forget what the Muslims call their temple. Maybe that's what they call it. Temple Mount. You have, not going into too much history there, where also the destroyed temple that the Bible predicts will be rebuilt, and I say predicts, please don't get mad at me out there for the word predicts, will be rebuilt. King David's temple there on the holy ground there in Jerusalem. If Trump opens the door on this embassy, he is recognizing Jerusalem as a one city, not divided, capital of Israel within its borders. And that's what's freaking them out. That freaks them out is because they want Jerusalem divided, and they do not want Jerusalem to belong to Israeli. They say it belongs to them, the Palestinians and the Muslims. All right, so moving right along. All right, now, President Trump gets up this morning. He says, okay, so we're going to open the embassy, all right, We've got the thing going with North Korea. What's next? What do we want to do next? Well, we have this Iranian deal. Now, let me say this about the J. You keep hearing the JCPA, okay? JCPOA. That's what you'll hear. Well, Trump and the JCPOA. They use the acronyms because they don't want you to know what it is. It is actually the Iranian deal, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, all right? Now, make sure it's understood something, okay? North Korea, I, for one, if I end up wrong, I end up wrong. I have hope. I really do. I have hope. I'm optimistic. I really feel it's that time. I feel that Kim Jong, I know what you're going to say. How many have they starved? How many have they killed? I know what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about Otto Warmbier. I understand. I am with you. I know what else you're going to talk about. Whether, the poison needle dart to his half-brother that he killed. We don't know. Maybe his brother won the three-legged race at the, family reunion and, boom, he's got to go. I don't know. I'm just telling you. I know every negative they're bringing up. But something says this guy here, Kim Jong-un, wants to come to the United States. Oh, my God, you're shivering now. Really? Yeah. Now, we don't know where he will refuel to get here. But yes. We think he wants to take a Delta first class, Singapore straight to New York. Okay? I'm serious. This guy wants to go and he wants his picture with him and all these people in the world. He's going to be big guy. His people are they're not going to be hungry. They're going to have electricity. They're going to get a Chevy. I really think in my heart, optimistically, this guy wants to do this right thing. I'm just hoping. It's really hope. He's saying all the right things. He's not yelling death to America. I do know what you're going to say. The media says, well, when you go there, you actually see in North Korea propaganda for their people to see nuclear weapons that are actually attacking U.S. cities and the Capitol and blowing them up. Okay, fine. But this guy's not on there yelling death to America. He doesn't have his people set up to chant death to America. He doesn't have any big phony stage parliamentary meetings where they burn the American flag. Right now, this guy's not saying any of that. Period. He's saying, what do we have to do to make this work? Iran, on the other hand, let me look in the camera and let you know that there is zero comparison of the two. Zero. Iran has never changed the fact that they feel that Israel should not exist. Never. They have never felt, Iran, that America should exist. They have never changed at one moment, at one time, as John Kerry was making the crooked deals that he was doing. Oh, wait till we ever get those out, right? As John Kerry was making all the crooked deals and last-minute lies, remember you were reading the accounts in the media where Kerry and other State Department officials were asking the Iranians nicely, could you tamp down the death to America just for a day or two? Let's get the ink dried on here before you go yelling death to America, okay? We got to sell this to the American people. Never one day, get it clear, did Iran ever want to exist alongside of Israel. All they want is to continue, since this deal has been signed by Barack Obama in 2015, all they want to do, right? Periodly, and all they have done has continued to move their footprint through the Middle East, period. They are behind and involved in every conflict there is in the Middle East. Funding it, doing whatever militarily, Syria, the Palestinians here, you name it. The Iranians do not want peace. They have not slowed down their attempt and research to complete their nuclear facilities, their nuclear armament. Not 1 minute have they slowed down. They don't plan to. The only thing they did in 2015 is try to legitimize moving some of their money through currency, with their currency through banks. Period. And pulling out of the JCP, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, and President Donald J. Trump putting on sanctions. Now you see, the EU is not products. They don't care. Do the research of the back channel banks that Iran has used for years. Okay? We have sent the money. We have used 2015, 16, 17 to where we have sent the money through back channel banks where there's no penalties whatsoever. No penalties. And that is what, if you'll do the research, when President Trump says the sanctions are back on, this is what really has Iran's steam. Is what we have done is we have allowed them, Barack Obama, we have allowed them to move money and funding all over through European banks, okay? No questions asked, which has allowed them to fund the terrorist activities, to continue to fund the battles in the civil wars, their footprint, the evil that they've continued all over this world. So when President Donald Trump says, hey, we're pulling out, and we're immediately putting all the sanctions back. We're going to look at all the sanctions. And financially, anybody you're dealing with, any of our allies. See, the European banks love that flow of cash. Oh my God, they love that flow of money. And that's what has mostly has the Europeans upset and has Iran upset, is the the flowing of two things: oil, and dirty money from Iran. Because if you think for 1 minute those secular Muslim countries in the European Union care 1 minute of what Iran's truly doing, you're badly mistaken. Because what they're mostly upset is, hey, Trump ends diplomatic relations with Iran. Trump says American businesses can't do, we're gonna shut you down. And if our allies don't within so many days comply with our sanctions, we're going to shut them down also. There's a possibility in the works. The flow of oil, the flow of money, the EU. Don't think for 1 minute that these people care 1 ounce on whether if the Germans, the Brits, the French, the list goes on, cared, they would be over shoulder to shoulder with us, America, as we open our embassy today in Jerusalem. But they're not. Money, oil. Okay, let me move from that. I don't want to get stuck on that. Don't think, all I wanted to do is say, don't think for 1 minute the negative news network is going to tell you the truth. Iran does not care one bit about reducing their nuclear capabilities, and they're not trying to. Just, it's not happening. If you've fallen for that, it's not happening. Trump will bring, my worry is, and I know, Amanda, people don't like this, but my worry is that North Korea will get solved without any weapons of mass destruction being used. My worry is that will not be the same in Iran. That's my worry, because Iran's not interested. They're not interested in making a real deal. There was never any interest in a real deal. The deal that they made, Iran made, was a way for them to trade oil and their currency, and that's all that deal was. And Barack Obama and John Kerry were complicit in it, and that's all the Iranian nuclear deal is a way they could move their currency and oil, period. Okay, now, I said I don't want to get off track. I said earlier, and we're going to talk about a lot more things as far as national events are going on. But in the state of Georgia this week, who will? So let's start at the governor's race. Then there was 3. So for those of you out there that are supporting Michael Williams, okay, or Clay Tippins, I don't want you to get so upset with me you never watch the show again, okay? I had some Ted Cruz supporters that got really upset with me during the primary because of not just my support for Donald Trump, my ability to see through all of the smoke and mirrors and the curtains back there that Trump would be the nominee. And that, but that being said, I don't want to lose viewers over this, but I just like to stay with the reality. As the governor's race goes, there is actual 5. There's 7 on the ballot that you will have to choose from Tuesday week, but there's only 5 that have been contestants, truly contestants, and I think it's really down to 3. I think Michael Williams will have to throw a Hail Mary to get national news, and so I would say whoever is out there that would throw the Hail Mary, it'd be Michael Williams, something outrageous. So Clay Tippins is out. I mean, he's just, to me, he's just out. I don't see it, don't feel it anywhere in his campaign. Michael Williams, I don't want to say is out, but he has to throw a Hail Mary. Now, he does, for those that get upset, he's done something that Tippins has not done. And we're going to see here, he has not endeared himself to rural counties. Now, Michael Williams has, and I'm going to say it like this, don't get mad, he has gone to, I have been to Republican meetings, Tea Party meetings, Georgia Republican Assembly meetings in North Georgia. I haven't traveled to South Georgia. Maybe we should go do a show down there. It's a nice 104 down there today, and they're trying to get the watermelons out of the field. So Michael Williams has done a good job going to these little meetings and spinning some yarn. That's my opinion, spinning some yarn and getting some people to say, hey, he is the first guy to have said that he supported Donald Trump. Hey, he is against Atlanta. He is going to go and drain the swamp. So he does have some support. What it resonates at the ballot box and what it brings in as far as percentage. Now, Michael Williams can come away Tuesday, a week from now, maybe with some political power to say, hey, yeah, but I want to do this or I want to do that. Don't know, okay? But he's the guy that has to throw the long bomb. He is the guy that has to get on national news. He is the guy. He's tried everything to throw that bomb and nothing has landed, okay? It's like a Kim Jong-un missile going in the air and just fizzling out, all right? So you have 3 candidates right now. You have Hunter Hill, Brian Kemp, and Casey Cagle. Now, Brian Kemp has thrown those long bombs. The last 2, I mean, he hit pay dirt on the last 2. He hit the Jake video where Brian Kemp hit the Jake video, and he said, hey, you know, you have to. There's 2 things you have to know: you respect and a healthy appreciation for the Second Amendment. Well, we'll get along just fine. He's got the guns and everything. It's called the Jake commercial. That landed him on Fox News. That landed him with the left as this bad guy in Georgia that's, you know, threatening a young man with a gun just to date his daughter. That got 100% effective, all right? I mean, when you're doing an ad, you want to know how effective is it? 100%. So he launches that one. He edges closer to Casey Cagle for that number 2 spot because there's only really 3 in the race, okay? Then he launches another bomb. He throws another one, okay? And this is my opinion watching it. He throws another bomb, Brian Kemp does, and It's another one lands for 100%. 98, not 96. He gets 100% mileage out of it. He's got a big truck, and he'll round up illegals himself and tote them back to himself, and I'll load them up myself, take them to the border if I have to. Yep, I said it. That's my new line. Yep, I said it. Right? That's what Brian Kemp said there. Yep, I said it. All right? Yep, I said it is a winner. It's 100%. Oh my God, the people are going nuts over that ad, either one way or the other. And if it's the opposite effect with the left, it is pushing conservatives his way. So Kemp is moving. He put that thing in a high gear. Now he has to run a week of high gear. I mean, can he top those two to get you to think about him next Tuesday? So can he get the trifecta? We'll see. That's Brian Kemp. He's pulling. But Casey Cagle cannot set aside, all right, and watch for 2 weeks that Kemp grabbed the headlines. Can't do it. So Cagle sends out this morning, I received this morning, and what I say at 8:20, I started the show out saying, who will throw the bombs this week, right? That this will be, I mean, you better watch everywhere you go, because this is going to be political landmine week in Georgia. This came out this morning at 8:20. Casey Cagle, the leading conservative Republican for governor, said today that as governor, he'll answer President Trump's call to contribute National Guard troops to the border as part of Operation Guardian Support. So Cagle's coming out this morning. He'll send the National Guard to the border, while Kemp's just rushing down through there with a truckload in his F-250. He'll have the National Guard. I told you what I tell you this week. In our state, this is a quote from the Cagle campaign. In our state, we've led the nation in cracking down on illegal immigration, but we have just treated symptoms until we get the root of the problem, Cagle said. I've led the fight against sanctuary cities in Decatur and helped pass one of the toughest laws against illegal immigration in the country. But I share President Trump's frustration that the illegal border crossing continue. That's why, as governor of Georgia, I'll send the National Guard to bolster Operation Guardian Support. Operation Guardian Support has been supported by state National Guards from Mississippi and South Carolina, among others. Georgia is always ready to lead on issues that matter, Cagle said. Illegal immigration has undermined the rule of law, strained local tax resources. Wonder where he got that. Endangered communities. Finally, we have a president who recognizes the severity of the problem and is going to actually do something about it. Georgians want to be part of the solution. So, he's going to send the National Guard. I told you it's landmine week at the Hacienda Suites. I'm telling you, man. I mean, you better have your Hacienda Suites frequent overnight stay card for this week in Georgia, because it's going to be everywhere you go. He is going to send the National Guard. So here's my thought in a whole, and I'll wrap this little segment up, okay? Cagle has come out of the box, and he spent some money he didn't want to, all right? But he came out of the box with some pretty tough sanctuary city ads on TV. But those ads that he came out of the box with haven't exactly, he's not exactly received any Fox and Friends invitations on Saturday morning like Kemp. He hasn't gotten the national Sunday morning talk circuit to go after him like they have Kemp, and he needs that right now. So we're waiting for an insider. Now, Hunter Hill, let's put Hunter up for a minute. Hunter's last ad that he's running, I watched this Sunday. If you watch the Sunday shows, which I do to keep up with the negative news networks, if you watch the Sunday show, you see which ads the candidates are running. And Hunter Hill is running the, I'm an Army Ranger and these two will never be able to get out of the swamp and keep up with me ad. My fear for Hunter, which I do like, okay? My fear for Hunter Hill is that he's stuck, His message is stuck. You've either received his message, accepted his message, and plan to vote for his message, or right now he's not moving the needle. That's my thought, is he's not moving the needle. So there is a battle in second place right now between Kemp and Hunter Hill. Why do people continue to ask me? Because I like Hunter Hill. I've met him several times. He was over here at Pool's Barbecue not long ago, and I sit down with him, one-on-one at the table, and we talk. Very nice man, okay? Conservative man. I like the guy. But people want to know, why do I feel that the Brian Kemp, Hunter Hill side by side, that Kemp would win? You have to understand, the state of Georgia, Georgians have seen Brian Kemp's name in a statewide ballot before, if I remember right, twice already for Secretary of State. So when you walk in, sadly enough, I'm going to go 90. I know you're going to get upset, but I'm going to go 90% of people that walk in to pull the trigger, pull the lever, cast their vote, whatever may make you feel good this morning. I believe 90% that go in to cast a vote actually do not know, and they see commercials or they have a mailer or something, and they just heard somebody's name, and they look up there and say, well, Brian Kemp, I know his name. Is there that percentage box that can move Kemp's way just because of that Hunter Hill needs? Yes. So I think Hunter Hill, as nice as he is, may be stuck. But let me tell you something. We're waiting for an Insider Advantage poll to come out this week. But here's Casey Cagle's problem. Very nice man. I spent an entire day with him 2 weeks ago. Very nice man. Okay, I'm not going down the road. Not going to get ugly. Very nice man. But here's his problem. He announced he was running for governor and supposedly had 40%. He has been running for governor and supposedly has 40%. Supposedly. He's only a little over a week out of ballots being cast, and except for the poll that we're waiting on this week, he still only has 40%. Now, I know what you're going to tell me is Casey Cagle could not expect to move. He couldn't expect to move in either up or down. Cagle would have looked a little... He's been 35, 37, 40. All right, I know. Well, Donald Trump, they kept saying that. No, I'm just saying. The guy hasn't moved the needle. Now, obviously, he probably can't move the needle north over 50 in this race. But if he comes out and he goes into... If the Insider Advantage poll says he's got 40, if the guy gets 38% of the vote, if he ends up next week with 38% of the vote, 36% of the vote, okay? 35%. We'll use a 35, all right? What does that mean in a runoff? That 65% did not support him. And can he move the needle over 50? I'm telling you, we will see, because he has the money to be aggressive. But it's Casey Cagle's race to win, and it's Casey Cagle's race to lose if he can't move that needle after this primary. Because somehow, some way, he's got to get his voters back to the poll. All right? And then he's got to get some of Mike Williams. He's got to get some of Hunter Hill's or Brian Kemp's. He's got to get some of Clay Tippin's. We'll see this week. Now, on the Secretary of State, on the Lieutenant Governor, okay, between David Schaefer, let me just use that one quickly and we're going to move on. Between David Schaefer, I don't have pictures, I think David Schaefer is the front runner, and I look for Duncan, okay, Jeff Duncan, to throw a bomb this week, okay? I look for Jeff Duncan to throw a bomb this week to try to get over David Schaefer. So my prediction this weekend, bomb throwing, will be we see Casey Cagle's going to send troops to the border. We're ready to go. If governor, he's sending the National Guard. Who will throw the bombs in the Georgia governor's race this week, trying to get that last hope of that second coveted spot, and also lieutenant governor? Who will throw that bomb this week? I predict it'll be Jeff Duncan, trying to get the coveted second spot and make sure, even maybe try to get that 51%. I'm your host, BKP. Let's go to break, and we'll be right back.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Here's to 60 years of Pizza Hut, to original pan, to stuffed crust, and to the best of both. The new double cheesy crust pan pizza with stuffed crust cheese baked just inside the golden edge of original pan. Here for a limited time. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help.
Hold on just a minute. I know I'm live. I want to look up a story I forgot about Friday that I wanted to talk about. Came out Friday. Oklahoma. Now, oh, wait a minute. How come I have no internet? Hold on a second. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm your host, BKP. Follow us on Twitter at Fetcher News, at FYNTV.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Stop doing your research.
Okay, I hate to miss a good story where the governor's got the LGBTQ community all messed up. Okay? Now, in the state of Georgia, before we get to FYN page 12, that's who you are now. No, you're page 12.
Well, then it would be 13 because I'm also on the 13th floor.
No, FYN page 12 because you're twice as good.
Aw, thanks.
Don't get all like that or anything. It's not like that. All right, anyhow. Oklahoma governor signs adoption law that LGBT groups call discriminatory. Now, here's an interesting thing with Georgia. Georgia's supposed to be a red state. Supposed to be. Supposed to be Republican red state. That's what they tell me. Every time it comes up that Georgia's a purple state, Republicans get all bent out of shape. No, it's not. Every time there's discussion that Democrats could win in Georgia, the Republicans of Georgia get all bent out of shape. Talk to your local Republican friend. I would tell you this. Hell, I was hoping to get through Monday without getting in trouble. But Republicans in the state of Georgia have their head buried in the sand as deep as they can get it. I mean, seriously. I mean, you know the old picture of you go to the beach and you get buried in the sand and your head sticking out? Well, it's the direct opposite for the Republicans in Georgia. Their only thing sticking out is their feet. They've got everything else buried in the sand when it comes to some things. So here are two bills. Now, last week we talked about the heartbeat bill, okay, which the governor of Mississippi has signed. The governor of Iowa has signed the heartbeat bill. But you can't get the heartbeat bill signed in place in Georgia. You can't get it. All right? But the heartbeat bill is starting to move along. Now, in this campaign season, you are getting the opportunity to hear these candidates talk about how they reformed adoptions. Okay? and the first major reform in adoptions in the states in 30 years. I mean, they're running articles. Now, all due respect, David Schaefer is running for lieutenant governor, right? Which I like Mr. Schaefer. And Mr. Schaefer is running a commercial because David Schaefer was adopted as a child. And he is talking about how proud he is of Georgia's new adoption law. The governor signed the new adoption law. But remember, we heard that the adoptions and the adoptions and also foster care, it just wasn't germane to put the protection. There was nowhere in the room for adoptions to have protection in Georgia for religious groups that have beliefs other than those of the LGBT community. There was no room for protecting them. So as you're going to your mailbox, okay, and you're pulling out your postcards that are this big that say, vote for me, I'm the true conservative. No, me, I'm the conservative you can count on. No, me, I'm the conservative with the most conservative record. No, me, I'm conservative. Why I'm so conservative, our 3 dogs are named Conservative 1, 2, and 3. No, I am. Are you sick of that? I am so damn sick of that, pulling this garbage out of the mailbox. I am the conservative you can count on. Now, you know, here's the one I like. It's because I've been wanting to know what it sounded like. I'm your conservative voice. What the hell? In most places, if you're hearing voices, they consider you to be damn crazy. All right? You know, that's the one to pull up. I'm your conservative. I will be your conservative voice in Atlanta. Like, what the hell? True, most, voice. You got it. We got it. Go conservative. Let's see. I just got an email. How did he start? I'm not knocking this candidate. I promise I'm not knocking this candidate, okay? I'm not knocking this candidate. Where the hell is it? The opening of this campaign email I got. The leading conservative Republican. He's the leading conservative. All right, anyhow. So as they're all rolling around the state telling you, I believe in religious liberty. May God help this country. May God save the state of Georgia. May God bless the great state of Georgia. I believe in religious liberty. Why, if I'm voted, I'm the most pro-life. I've got a card. They sent me some damn card in the mail, said that I am the most pro-life candidate. If elected, I believe in religious liberty, because we were just talking in Sunday school how important it was to protect our religious freedoms. Ain't a damn one of them did a damn thing. You have a state that you've had a RFRA bill laid out there that either the governor would not sign, they pulled it off the floor, it did not meet the standards, it discriminated. There was a bill that Kevin Tanner put up called the Pastor Protection Bill. Where the hell did that go? Where the hell did the Pastor Protection Bill go? In Georgia, the red state, they're all running around praying with you, conservative with you, loving you, singing God Bless the USA and Lee Greenwood songs. But no, what is the last real piece of conservative legislation that the governor that is going out had a set enough to do and sign? Wait a minute, there was somewhere I was going with that. Oklahoma governor signs adoption law. Oklahoma governor signs adoption law that LGBT groups called discriminatory. Well, guess what? Maybe Oklahoma's not waiting to hear about HQ2, Amazon. Maybe Oklahoma's not waiting to see which major corporations we have to kiss their ass before we could see what we could do legislatively for the religious-minded people of the state of Georgia. Maybe Oklahoma is not sitting there waiting on go. Governor Mary Fallin, shown at the National Press Club there, Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin on Friday signed a law that says no child placement agency will be required to put children up for adoption or in foster care. Remember in Georgia, foster care, adoption wasn't germane, remember? Meaning one did not pertain to the other in Georgia. That is the reason that candidate Casey Cagle gave to Mike Williams over in the 9th District debate for why he would not let this kind of bill be attached in the Senate to the foster care bill. Oh. Let's see, where was I at? Placement that would require to put children in adoption or in foster care in situations that violate the agency's written religious or moral conviction policy. That's all we wanted in Georgia. If you are Catholic Charities, if you're a religious organization, and you have written religious or moral convictions or policies in place, it does not mean that the state says that, John and Joe and Mary and Jane can't adopt a child. God forbid. Anyhow, it doesn't say it can't happen. It just says that these agencies, these faith-based organizations can say, look, here's a card, okay? Go down the street. Those are your people. You can't miss them. They got a rainbow flag out front. Rainbow little walkway up there, little rainbow pinwheels at the, you'll know who they are. You'll know when you get there. The governor said the law will not restrict the ability of the LGBT people for getting a child through adoption or foster care, but critics fiercely disagree. Oklahoma for Equality posted a video on Facebook which officials say are looking into legal actions. Okay, the ideal that bigotry trumps decency is really reprehensible. I am horribly disappointed in the Governor Fallin tonight. Sharon Bishop Baldwin, Vice President of the Organization of Directors, say in the video. Fallin, a Republican, said neither adoption or foster by LGBT individuals or same-sex couples is not banned. It's not banned. Instead, the bill will help continue Oklahoma's successful placement of children with a broad array of loving families and basically maintain the status quo by setting forth a status protections which have successfully worked for the best interest of Oklahoma children. Okay? That bill was in Georgia. That bill was set up in Georgia. It didn't make it. I'm just saying, folks. Just saying, okay? I wanted to do that one, Amanda, because that one bothers me really bad. Okay, Amanda, what do you have this morning?
I'm going to trail off of that. Like I said earlier, what we were talking about earlier, really, with Brian Kemp and Casey Cagle starting to make, explosive advertisements and getting ready for crunch time next Tuesday. Brian Kemp is hosting his election night victory party in Athens at the Holiday Inn. Chilling at the Holiday Inn. So, if I'm scrolling through his page, and same thing with Casey Cagle. It's guns, guns, guns right now. I want to see one of them make another explosive ad. And you know what I want it to be?
No, what would you like it to be, Amanda?
Designated bathrooms.
What?
Designated bathrooms. Right now, you can go as a male in specific stores into a women's bathroom and vice versa. Okay, so on the way to the beach, I guess that.
Hold on. No, I'm with you, but every once in a while I got to regroup from one of your damn stories. Now go ahead. Go ahead. You're on the way to the beach.
All right, I'm on the way to the beach, and I always stop in Eufaula or in Dothan, Alabama. And I had to stop a couple of times on my way in and on my way back.
Now, that's Eufaula. Is that where them whippoorwill trees hang over the road all the way down through? Isn't that absolutely beautiful?
Yeah, that's where all the Spanish moths start. And all the alligators. Well, I always stop at one of those Liberty gas stations that have the alligators. Well, they have signs up on their bathrooms that if opposite gender is, I forgot the wording, but if opposite gender is found in this bathroom, you will be escorted off the property. And I saw that, and I was like, huh, they must have a lot of Georgia weirdos coming in here and having men going in the women's bathrooms or women going in the men's bathrooms. And same thing, when I stopped on the way back in, I stopped in Dothan, same thing. And I will say, not too long ago, I was in Target, and I usually use the family restroom, and that is a designated area for, I guess, you know, transgender, or if you identify with an opposite gender, where they go to use the bathroom specifically. But there was a man in with me and my son in the women's bathroom, and how intimidating that is. It's just not, it does not feel safe. And I'd like to see something else explosive happen with that.
Okay. All right. Well, is anything else?
I do.
Could you take Brian Kemp? He probably is thinking to himself, could you please take me off of all of...
What does this have to do with my victory?
Yeah, the Amanda, page 12.
Okay. So I also have Green Beret Tim Kennedy gets waterboarded in defense of CIA nominee.
Green Beret who?
And I'm going to play that real quick.
All right, go ahead.
But just the whole, because it was like a tech Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Just the whole the geeks win type.
What's the point?
So he's defending Gina Haspel. They go on for 45 minutes and waterboard each other to show that this technique is not torture.
Okay, Gina Haspel, put her picture up. We need to get her confirmed. Joseph Donnelly of Indiana is going to vote for Gina Haspel. Joe Manchin of West Virginia is going to vote for Gina Haspel. Meghan McCain is still waiting for a public apology about somebody saying something about her daddy. And John McCain is still... Is he speaking from the grave, headed to the grave? Are they digging his grave? Where the hell's he at right now? I mean, you know, I'm so tired of these people. You know, John McCain... Why are we still waiting now? I'm sorry that John McCain has brain cancer, and I'm sorry that John McCain is days away from death. I'm so sorry about that, but you know,
we were talking about that over the weekend. Can you imagine being the reporter that's going in and out of his hospice and reporting, like, you know, him saying that he doesn't want Trump at his funeral and all these things he's saying about Gina
Haspel.
Why is okay, this is horrible too. I mean, he has brain cancer, and, you know, I feel for his family, but at the same time, he's dying of brain cancer. Why are we broadcasting every single thing that's coming out of his mouth right now?
I know, and they're on The View today waiting for Meghan McCain, patiently waiting for an apology from the Trump administration. Now, Sarah Huckabee Sanders continues to they can't take her. And so, who is the John Acosta? Is that his name on CNN? Is that the reporter that just whines and cries to her?
Jim Acosta.
Huh?
Jim Acosta. It's Jim.
Jim Acosta, right? And so they asked her in an interview. Sarah Huckabee Sanders says, "How do you put up with that? Like, you know, over and over?" And she says, "Well, I've got little children, and they keep asking why. And when I give them an answer, they keep asking why. So it's perfect training." But here is Nicole Wallace. Okay, we don't have time to go into Nicole Wallace. I got some other things. Here's Nicole Wallace, MSNBC. She is introduced as, I think, a Romney or a Bush Bush, a Mitt Romney spokesperson for Mitt Romney, worked for George W. Bush, okay, and you can understand why they went over to MSNBC. But she said, in the only video I could find, she actually was talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. This is truly how they feel. They lie and say they don't, but she put out an apology for this. Can you play the Twitter video? Can you pull that up? Did you have that ready, or is that a problem?
Kristen Walker, how do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck? Why can't she just say, if a staffer said that, we're going to get to the bottom of it, and she'll be fired?
Well, I think a lot of people were surprised, Nicole, because there was an anticipation that she would have something to say. There have now been so many reports, including ours, confirming the account. Reporters, including myself, who've spoken to people who heard Kelly Sadler make these remarks. And so I think there was an anticipation that the White House would at least have comments similar to at least the statement that they put out overnight when they praised John McCain. Instead, Sarah Sanders sort of took a step back from that and said she wasn't going to comment on this situation at all. And so you saw the attempts there to sort of try to get at it from a much broader perspective. And then to try to nail down the facts of what actually happened, I asked her repeatedly if our sources are lying to us. She ignored that question outright. So it is a very striking tactic that the White House is taking. They clearly are hoping this will help to turn the page, will help it to go away. But, Nicole, as you've been discussing, it does shine a light on the tone and the culture within this White House, within Washington right now, and within our politics more broadly, I think.
Okay, this is all over someone within the White House said, what'd they say, John McCain is dying anyway, why do we care what he thinks, he's dying anyway, or something. I forget the comment that was supposedly made. This is the kind of time that they are spending on this. Now, what did Nicole Wallace say? How could you not help but just to want to wring her neck? Just go up there and wring her neck. That's how they really feel. That's how dangerous these people are and how hateful they are. Okay, I got a couple more things before I go. I don't have time for a break, so I better go through it. Number one, Amanda, before we close, I didn't want to forget, I am I'm sporting the official scent for May in Georgia. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
I have it. I'm wearing and oozing the official scent for the state of Georgia in May. What is it?
What would that be?
Vidalia onion.
Oh God.
I've tried to shower it off. It won't happen. It won't go away. I'm going to tell you, my friend Bill Craig over at North Georgia Diamond, Bill Craig over at North Georgia Diamond has every year for the Rotary, they sell 25 pounds of Vidalia onions, and I never miss. I have a 25, well, I think I have a 16-pound box now, but I bought a 25-pound box. No exaggeration, I probably ate 4. How gross is this to you? I probably ate 4 complete full Vidalia onions this weekend myself.
That is very gross to me.
Is it?
It is. I can only eat onion rings, but other than that, I do not like onions.
Do you know what I do is I take a Vidalia onion this big and I cut the top flat and the bottom flat, and then I put a V core in the top, like it will hold something, just core a little bit there. And then you gotta put butter in there. You fill that full of butter, and you put a bouillon cube, a beef bouillon cube, fill it full of butter, and then put it in the microwave for 7 minutes, then get you a steak knife. You like that?
No.
I'm sorry, folks. I can't help it. I have the aroma, the official Georgia aroma in May, Vidalia onion. I brush my teeth.
Stay out of the production room.
Huh?
Stay out of the production room.
Can't help it.
No.
Coming out of the oozing out of my pores. Okay, a couple things here before we close. We got now the I've read some articles. I don't have time to go through them all. I'd like for you to go through Zero Hedge. What is one thing that cannot leave Illinois? There's a mass exodus on the highways, but what is the one thing that cannot leave Illinois? You need to take a time and Google it. It's the property. The property can't leave. That's right. So who are they going to reach in and grab another $2,500 a year from a house that appraises for $250,000? The homeowner. What about if the house appraises for $1 million? It's another $10,000 a year. Property tax. Property tax. Taking your property. Property tax. You look it up. Illinois' answer. The Chicago Fed says the answer to possibly Illinois and our pension problems, unfunded pensions, maybe the property tax should go up a little. Watch and see. Another article, I don't have time to go into great detail. Europe keeps buying Iran oil, but banks may hinder the trade. Wow, where did you just hear that? In the days following the U.S. withdrawal from Iran nuclear deal, Iran's European customers continue to buy Iranian oil and are in no immediate rush to replace volumes, but some refiners and traders have flagged the financing issues as having a potential stop to crude trade with Iran. Dark banks. Yes. How will you trade the money around when America puts a halt on it? How will you start working through all the dark banks? Oh, Barack Obama gave you the wide opening. Don't believe anything about the Iranian nuclear deal. It was set up for China. It was set up for China and the European countries, with Russia included, to start funneling and start flowing that dirty oil out and start doing it through banks, and boom, nothing to do with protecting Israel from a nuclear weapon. In the following days, the U.S. withdrawal from the nuclear war deal, Iranian European customers continue to buy oil and have no immediate rush to replace volumes. But some refiners and trades are flagged. Financing issues have potentially to stop crude in Iran. Okay, after the U.S. walked out of the Iranian deal, the U.S. will be targeting Iran's crude oil sales as sanctions previously lifted under the deal will reimpose following a 180-day period. The U.S. Treasury. See, the U.S. Treasury is already on this. European buyers are not immediately rushed to replace the Iranian supplies due to the wind-down period, with sanctions expected to kick in November. All buyers report they are compiling and will compile any such sanctions imposed on Iranian trade, and some of them expect that banking issues will arise from sanctions, such as the availability of trade finance. I tell you what, we're good here, man. I'm trying to tell you. Do not listen to the negative news network, the lying no good news network that's going to tell you how bad this is pulling out of the deal, how this is bad for Israel, how this is bad for the region. No, it's not. It's bad for the Europeans buying dirty oil that will not have a way to finance it through banks in 180 days. When you continue to hear, we're going against our allies. No, we're not. The truth of what's got them upset is not going to be able to buy their dirty oil. I don't have any more time. I will tell you an important date you want to keep up with. That is May 18th. What is May 18th? May 18th is the day that Judge Ellis said that the Mueller investigative team there, the legal team, has to come back with an unredacted memo of the full scope, the unfettered power that Mueller has, that has to come back May 18th. Judge Ellis of the Washington up there at by Washington, D.C., North Virginia U.S. District Court, said that May 18th, they have to come back with the unredacted scope that Rod Rosenstein gave Mueller, so he can look and see why they want to go after Paul Manafort all the way back from 2005. Because this is the judge that said, man, you just want to, come on, man. You're just looking for anything to keep this going. Come on, man. You're just looking for anything to impeach the President of the United States. I'm your host, BKP. It's 9:55. We're going to be back tomorrow morning. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, Georgia House 8th District Representative debate right here in the studio. Mickey Cummings and Matthew Gutler, Republican candidates up in the 8th District, will be right here. That debate will be live at 9 a.m. Also, right after these messages, you stay tuned. The only live online new sports show, Instant Replay with Dave Gardner. And don't forget, 706-889-9700. You want to tell Dave anything on the show, his producer over here, Amanda, will be watching that number. You want to send him a message about something during the show, they'll be watching that number because it is a live broadcast. I'm your host, BKP. Take us out. Dave Gardner next with Instant Replay.
You ready?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Instant Replay. It is North Georgia's only online weekly sports show, and it's right here on FYNTV.com. I'm Dave Garner alongside Luther Kinsey as we join you from Studio A, if you will, here at Fetcher News, and we're very excited to have you with us on this Monday, May the 14th, 2018. Hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day. And family treating you good, I guess?
Yes,
and
yes.
Everyone all right?
Well, the weekend was great, but the better half's birthday and Mother's Day were both yesterday, so the wallet was hit just a little hard.
Right, yeah. Definitely that kind of... And Amanda in there, now, from what I understand, looking at your pictures, you took a little bit of a field trip.
I did. Down to the beach, down to Emerald Coast.
Went with your mother, I think.
Yeah,
right?
We had our first Mother's Day, just the two of us trip.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That's awesome. And you had a good Mother's Day, weekend. Got home to the kids.
I came back yesterday at 3 a.m. to see all my tribe.
So you had a whirlwind weekend, I guess is what you're trying to say. So
very busy.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad to have Amanda on with us here as our producer today as well. And we've got an action-packed hour for you. And we're going to go ahead and jump on in. We've got a lot of things to talk about. Some things we may not even get to, but we have a lot of high school stuff to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the Hawks coaching search. It has come to an end. Spring football update. And we crown a state champion locally in track and field, all that and much more straight ahead in this hour. But we'll go ahead and jump into it. And Luther, we had left off last week. There was a little bit of a discussion that we had, and I don't know if Amanda has the picture in there or not, but I wanted to bring you out this week because we talked last week. We left off talking about the resemblance between you and the Atlanta Falcons head football coach Dan Quinn. Yes. Now I don't know if there's a way to put any of that side by side, but you've even got the coaching shirt on today. I see. Now you said we were talking last night, and you said Billy Bob Thornton's another one that you've heard comparisons to.
Many years ago, I picked up the name Billy Bob.
Right.
And of course, after that, and I'm not going to do it here today. There's not enough pressure you can put on me to do this, but I started doing the Sling Blade talk from Billy Bob Thornton. In paramedic school back in 1998.
Okay, I've got to hear that.
Nurses, and they had to pick a partner.
Right.
So this nurse comes running down the classroom saying, "I want to work with Billy Bob. I want to work with Billy Bob." And I'm like, everybody in there's like, "What?" She goes, "Him. He looks like Billy Bob Thornton."
Amanda,
so that's where it started.
Amanda just said she's got to hear it. She's got to hear your Billy Bob Thornton.
There's not enough pressure. Okay, just for you, Amanda. You did such a great job on the other side of the glass of producing this. This is for you. I like the way you talk. I like mustard on my fries. I do.
This show is already going downhill way too quick, too early.
Wait, this is a sports show. Let's get on to the Dan Quinn.
Oh my goodness! But anyway, so yeah, there is that resemblance. So I mean, he's just a guy that looks like a lot of celebrities. So that's what it's all about. But anyway, we're happy to have Luther on, Coach Quinn on with us here this morning, right here on the Instant Replay.
We gave that much money to Matt Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, for real.
I'm gonna put a picture up of Dan Quinn, and I think that this is the Dan Quinn picture that looks like Luther.
Oh,
okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I can totally see that right there. So hey, I mean, I feel like I'm sitting beside the guy right now. I've got him on both sides.
Yeah, we got Dan Quinn in the studio today.
Dan Quinn live with us right here. Now if you could, now you've got Billy Bob, you got the whole Sling Blade thing down. Now we got to get your Dan Quinn press conference interview thing down. So we could probably fool some people.
Well, I will say this, Arthur Blank, if you happen to be watching, if there's ever a Sunday that Mr. Quinn can't make it, I'm your fill-in.
Right, exactly. Stunt double. There you go.
Yeah, I can do it.
Dan Quinn stunt double. I like it. As always, our email right here. If you have any information you'd like to email us is teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. Once again, we are highlighting and promoting student athletes in a positive way, and we've got a full show of that here today. And let's start with track and field. What a weekend it was. Pickens High's Olivia Moore is your 2018 4A state pole vault champion.
That's right, Olivia, a Georgia Tech commit, cleared the bar at 13 feet 7 inches. That is a state championship high school record and also second all-time record in Georgia outdoor competition. Congratulations to Olivia Moore, who's been an absolute beast this year with the pole vault, headed to Georgia Tech, as we talked about, crowned a state champion. What an honor for us to have a state champ here in our area.
Well, I have a fear of heights at 13 foot 8. So, for her to do that.
I do at 3 feet. I mean, come on, climbing up a ladder.
For her to do that with a pole, I've always been amazed to watch the pole vault competitions at any level.
Right.
And that's amazing. And I'm so proud that we have it here in Pickens. Somewhere locally. Of course, I'm super proud that she's a Georgia Tech commit.
Right. There you go. Absolutely. As a Tech fan, no doubt about it. But congratulations. Olivia's gotten it done her entire high school career, and so we're very excited for her. Some other great individual efforts. Sabrina Young, 10th overall in the 3,200-meter event. Connor Moranos had a PR in the 3,200 as well for the Dragons. And Gilmer Naomi Coombs, just a freshman, top 5 in the state in the mile. What a job for her there. So there's a lot of great individual efforts along your area. Again, we don't have all the information on everyone right now as far as folks that have, of all the schools in the area, but we do know that this particular 4A meet at Berry College over the weekend produced a lot of great individual efforts in Pickens County and Gilmer County, and keep it right here on the Instant Replay and on FYNTV.com, and also Fetcher News, FetcherNews.com, and our Facebook page as well. Luther's continuously having updates for us, so we're excited about that. But what a great track and field season locally for all of our local area schools and athletes.
It was. All the schools were very well, represented across the board throughout the year. They've all worked hard. Back into the middle school level, Clear Creek Middle School.
Absolutely.
Went to state, had several personal records there and personal best. No top qualifiers, but very represented well. So the track and field in the Gilmer area specifically has a long road.
A good road.
A good road. It's going to be a great road. We're going to be speaking of these athletes that are in middle school now. When they get to the high school level, we'll be calling their names out in these state championship rounds.
Absolutely. That's awesome. No doubt about it. Very excited about that. Let's switch gears and talk about soccer. Again, we're at that point of the year where things are starting to wrap up here in the spring season. We've got spring football we're going to talk about in the next segment a little bit, but soccer also winding down locally. And how about Dawson County? A great season for the Tigers and Lady Tigers, and the Lady Tigers especially. And, Luther puts a lot of the show together. Make no mistake. I'm just sitting out here kind of regurgitating, but Luther, you follow these teams throughout the whole year, and this Lady Tiger team went through a lot of adversity this year.
Yes, they did. There was actually talk early on of whether or not they were even going to play this season or not. For them to stick it out and have the heart to push through this, I want to sit here and cry. It's really sad what they went through. Longtime coach Jed Lacey passed away August, just as school was really getting going. 2 games into the season, Grace Shear, senior team leader, just from what I can understand, I've never had the chance to meet her, but an awesome young lady, a great friend, tragically passed away in the second game of the season. And it really just shot a very heavy load on the girls' team. And their perseverance and their heart, Coach Lacey and Grace had to be with them throughout the year for what they were able to accomplish. And it was truly an amazing effort to overcome their adversity.
And they went to the second round of the state tournament, finally falling to Westminster, but a great job for the Dawson County Lady Tigers, who again overcame a lot of adversity, making it into the GHSA state playoffs and winning a first round matchup, and then going into the second round where they fell just short against Westminster, a private school. And the boys also, they took a loss in the second round of the playoffs as well, but got back there again. The Tigers fell to North Murray 2-1 in a matchup played over in Murray County. North Murray again moved on from that point, but Coach Chess Hamby was chosen as the 7 AAA Coach of the Year. So again, a lot of accolades, a lot of adversity, but a lot of heart. And I don't know, well, I'm not prepared to give an award on today's show, but if we had to give the Heart Award or whatever, we might have to come up with something like that. The FYNTV.com, Team of the Week or something like that. It would have to go especially to those Lady Tigers soccer team from Dawson County. What a season they had, no doubt about it.
I want to mention also that Team FYN Sports and Instant Replay will continue to send our thoughts and prayers to Dawson County.
Absolutely.
They lost a coach, a friend, a mentor,
right,
and Coach Lacey, and a friend and a family member and a leader in Grace.
Right.
And continue to pray and send our thoughts y'all's way.
Right. Absolutely. First team honors locally. It's not Dawson, of course, had several folks. Union County, Lumpkin, Fannin, Desiree Patterson from Fannin County was amongst those on the first team all honors. Brianna Ennis of Union County, Molly, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Munchin, I believe, from Dawson County, Mackenzie Kimbrell of Dawson County, Catherine Cunningham from Lumpkin, and Morgan Fagan from Lumpkin. First team 7 AAA for the boys. Nathan Blythe of Dawson County, also Dennis, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but Petsa, I believe. So again, forgive me if I mispronounce these names, but Alex Abbott and Chris Keys of Lumpkin County, Chandler Bond of Fannin County, and Lance Underwood of Union County, all first team. Several other second teamers as well for the boys and girls locally along our area. Union County Lady Panther Madison Yost has been nominated for the Blitz Player of the Year, sponsored by BlitzSportsGA.com. So again, big soccer season locally as the accolades continue to roll in for some of our student athletes.
Yeah, it's a really good season for all the schools we cover. They all just really prepared hard and worked hard, and those that did not make it to the playoffs this year have a very good chance next year with continued hard work.
Traditionally not a strong area in this area for soccer, considering that a lot of it comes from the private schools in Atlanta metro area, but we're starting to see that change a little bit. I know Gilmer boys have made it the last couple of years. Pickens has some solid players coming up. They've got 2 kids on their 8th grade team coming to the high school that play. One of them I know plays for the Atlanta United junior team, Juan and Jose, and so I'm excited to see them up there next year in Pickens County. But I mean, Dawson County traditionally strong, Fannin County traditionally strong soccer programs. So very excited about what the future holds there for our local soccer programs. Well, that's going to wrap things up for our first segment of the program. Once again, we want to remind you guys you are welcome to call in as well. 706-889-9700, the number there. And we encourage you guys to call in with any information you may have. Give a shout out to your favorite team. Let us know what's going on. Also, our email, if you do have pictures or scores or information you'd like to share with us, please feel free to do that. That email address again is teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. Coming up in the second segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the Dragon Stadium update. Our very own Luther Kinsey was able to get his hands on a physical piece of the turf from down there. I don't know how you pulled that out. We won't tell folks about that because that might incriminate you a little bit.
My scissors were sharp? No, I'm kidding.
We're going to have that for you coming up. Also, a Taking It to the Next Level segment and much more still ahead on today's program. It's the Instant Replay, and it's right here on FYNTV.com.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Here's to 60 years of Pizza Hut, to original pan, to stuffed crust, and to the best of both. The new double cheesy crust pan pizza with stuffed crust cheese baked just inside the golden edge of original pan. Here for a limited time. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Life is filled with moments, some monumental, some mere seconds. Moments we often take for granted as we worry and anticipate all the moments to come. At Woodman Life, we help ease that worry with our affordable insurance and retirement products. We work to protect financial security, community pride, patriotism, and peace of mind so that you can protect the moments that matter most.
One.
If it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it right here on the Instant Replay. Welcome back to the program, our second quarter segment of the show, and we're rocking and rolling right here. We had Luther with us in the first segment. He's still behind the glass. He'll be with us a little bit later on in the program, but again, we are highlighting and promoting student-athletes in a positive way, and one of the ways that we're all over it here at Fetcher News Sports is with a segment we like to call Taking It to the Next Level. Now, this is our segment where anytime we have a college college athlete or a high school athlete that signs a college scholarship offer, we like to report that, all of our player signings. But we also are committed to updating you on those athletes that have indeed moved to the next level and are excelling in the college ranks. And we have a particular player that we're going to talk about this week. Former Union County Lady Panther Laken Chambers is now a freshman at the University of North Georgia, where she is a pitcher for the Nighthawks softball team. And what a season Laken and the Nighthawks have had. They just won their 5th consecutive Peach Belt Conference title, and that's, of course, in D2. Chambers has 14 appearances this year for the Nighthawks as a pitcher, 26.2 innings, 22 strikeouts, only 7 walks. She has an ERA of 1.69. Now, if you know anything about baseball or softball, you know that's a pretty impressive stat. Anything under 2 or even 3 for that matter is pretty stout. So Laken right now with a 1.69 ERA. Opponents are hitting a mere 210 against her. So congratulations once again for Laken Chambers and the University of North Georgia softball team, who's having a great year. And they're not done yet. Even at the plate offensively, she's batting .692 as a pitcher. So again, she's getting it done both sides of the plate as the hurler and also as a hitter. She is 7 for 11 with 3 doubles and 5 RBIs. So what a just a crazy season as a freshman for Laken Chambers, former Union County Lady Panther, and we congratulate her. The Nighthawks hosted the NCAA D2 Southeastern Regional this past week, where they dominated in a 20-0 series win, and they will now host the D2 Super Regional, which starts this Thursday, and they'll be playing Young Harris. And speaking of Young Harris, there's also another young lady with Young Harris that's a local player as well. We'll talk about her maybe a little bit more next week, but one thing we want to do right here is keep folks updated, keep you tuned in as to what's going on with our student athletes who indeed reach that next level, and update you on their progress. And so again, Laken Chambers, what a job by that young lady, now a freshman at the University of North Georgia. All right, let's talk a little bit about the stadium update as we transition to spring football news. But in Pickens County, there's a lot of excitement right now. Of course, several years ago, Gilmer County put in their turf at Huff Mosley Stadium. Several years before that, Fannin County had put it in there. The Rebels have had it for a while, and now Pickens County along the Highway 515 corridor is following suit with the turf there. And Dragon Stadium, again, almost completed. A 32-foot video board has been installed. The turf has been laid down. As of last week, they were sewing in the logos into the middle of the field and into the end zones there. But what a job by the folks down there. And it looks like everything will be ready in time for the spring game this Friday night against Dawson County, and of course graduation as well, which of course was the goal for folks down there. Now, a couple weeks ago we had on Chris Parker from Pickens High School. He gave us an update on how things were going, and our very own Luther Kinsey behind the glass here for segment number 2. But Luther, you were down there and you've shot pictures, you've seen it. I personally have not had a chance to go by there yet, but I've heard several people in the community say you got to go by there and check it out. It's absolutely gorgeous. What's your take on the new updated look at Dragon Stadium?
Wow. That's the only way to say it. As exciting as it's going to be to, see a game played on that field on Friday night, and of course graduation and many, many games to come over the next several years, it's just as exciting to see the process. Of course, you're there with part of the turf. That section of turf you have there is the hash marks, the numbers, the white part of the logo. I mean, it's amazing. The process is just beyond anything I ever would have imagined.
Right. It's got this particular turf that I'm holding, and you were kind enough to bring in a couple samples that Pickens High School had shared with you. It's like a longer blade of grass. It seems to be, but I guess by the time you fill it in with the sand and the rubber and everything else, it's not quite as long Yes. As it appears right here in my hand, but pretty impressive. Talk about the difference between this turf and maybe some of the other turfs that have gone into some of the other, North Georgia schools over the last couple of years.
We also have a picture up of how vivid it is on the screen.
All right, let's take a look at you can see it right there in the box. Very vivid indeed. Amanda, that's definitely a good word to describe it. Here, I've got another piece here. If I can reach under here and grab it. Oh, there we go. I'm getting old. But this is the Luther, I guess you said this is like the logos, I guess, with the black
the
part
entire
of that.
end zone. And unfortunately, I don't have a picture up for that, and I apologize for that. The entire end zone is black.
Okay.
You have the green, of course, the white yard lines and hash marks and numbers. The end zone is black with the white lettering that says Dragons on one end and Pickens on the other.
Right.
And that silver kind of you see in there is the outline of this for the soccer field, because it would be a multi-use field.
Right, correct.
But each one of those panels come in a 5-yard wide roll, basically. And they roll it out, and they have this awesome machine on wheels that sews each panel together.
It's impressive,
And then the individual hash marks are cut out, and the white is hot glued in.
Okay.
And you were talking about the length of the turf there. When the field is complete, hopefully tomorrow is the projected 100% finish rate for the playing surface that I've been given so far. We have had some rain, so that may be updated a little bit.
Right. Yep.
But 2 layers of sand go in, spread across the field. It's rolled with a big roller like you see at asphalt crews. From there, they come in with a layer of pellets, another layer of sand, another layer of pellets, and the final layer they put in is a new technology called Cool Play. It is a specialized pellet that is guaranteed to leave the playing surface 35 degrees cooler than your typical conventional turf field.
Wow, that's awesome. I think that's probably been the biggest knock about some of these fields is the heat.
Yes.
Because of the black rubber. I mean, basically it's crushed up tennis shoe and tire. That rubber absorbs some of that heat, so the field temp, it does increase a little bit, especially in the dead of, summer and the early part of the season when it's really hot. But this particular turf, as you're saying, is anywhere from 20 to 35 degrees cooler in that same condition because of the texture of the sand, more so than the rubber, I guess.
Well, in speaking to the supervisor for Deluxe Athletics, which, by the way, we've mentioned before is the same crew that installed Mercedes-Benz Stadium turf.
Right, yep.
He said that it's guaranteed 35 degrees cooler.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how they can guarantee that.
Or your money back. All right.
We're going to go with that.
Well, there you go.
But everything should be ready to go. It's amazing. And when that final section of Cool Play pallets put on, you should have approximately anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of that artificial surface that you can actually see.
Okay, awesome. Well, things are definitely rocking and rolling down there, and again, you see the picture right there, and awesome, man. I'm very impressed with it. I can't wait to go by there. I know, Luther, you've been by there, and several other folks have, but I'm going to have to make a point to drop by there. I want to wait till the finished product. I want to get the full scope of how everything was looking down there, but very awesome to not only have the turf sample here with us, but to see kind of on the screen there somewhat of a finished product, and we're excited, man. I tell you, I'm excited about it. Dawson County to play Pickens County this Friday night in the spring football game, and so that'll officially be the first real action, I guess, on the turf. I'm sure maybe the Dragons, if they're able to, get out there and practice on it, maybe a time or two if they can, if it's done that soon. But it should be completed by Friday in time for the first game and also for graduation as well, which was certainly the hope there. So awesome. Thank you, Luther, on that report. The Fannin County Rebels will host 5A Cass for their spring football game this Friday at Rebel Stadium. Speaking of more action on the turf, we're looking forward to that one there. And Union County also will be in action. Now, Coach Brian Allison lost 15 seniors this past season, but he feels like he has the talent to replace those guys. As we talk a little bit about Union County right here and the success the Panthers have had over the last several years, they have had to really focus on the offensive line and the secondary more as the depth positions there, I guess, on this football team as far as filling those graduated seniors. But they've got around 70 players, according to Coach Allison, that are out for spring practice the first week, and believes that number will hold steady into this week as well as we start a new week of spring practice. Again, again, if you're watching on Monday, May the 14th, you're watching live. If you're watching later in the week beyond that, you're watching the encore of this program, which is Monday through Thursday. But again, we will have more updates for you next Monday, and we'll have some scores and some information as far as the spring games from this week go. But we're certainly excited about spring football going on right now. We tend not to bother the coaches too much right now, the players. Again, it's only spring. We don't get into a lot of the X's and O's right now because the players simply are getting a feel for things. We've got some new coaches in the year that we've reported over the last couple of weeks, so there's definitely things that we're going to be talking about even into summer. I know Luther and I, we had the conversation off air that, hey, it's getting ready to be summertime. You know, there's not going to be a lot of high school sports going on. We're going to have to open up our regional and national notebooks a little bit more, but make no mistake, there'll still be plenty of things to talk about. We're gonna continue our discussion of North Georgia most memorable high school football moments throughout the summer. That'll be an ongoing discussion. We want you guys to chime in. We want you guys to call in and talk about some of your favorite moments. You can do that by calling us at 706-889-9700, or you can always email us with your information at teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. One thing too that Luther did this week, and we'll talk a little bit about this over the next couple weeks, and this will also be an ongoing discussion, will be the football schedules. Again, we got most all the football schedules in our local area, and we're going to break down each show. We're gonna pick a team. We're gonna break down their schedule. We're gonna stretch that, leading up to the high school football season, which we're still a couple of months out, but we're only a couple months out, if you know what I mean. It's going to be here before you know it, so we're excited about that, and that's something that we're definitely going to do right here on the program, certainly in the coming shows, and we hope that you'll stick around for that, because it's going to be a lot of fun as we continue to talk high school sports throughout the next few months, and well, really year round. That's what we do. If it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it, right? And that's what we do right here on the Instant Replay, and so we're very excited about that. And we're excited about the renovation and upgrades at the Dragon Stadium in Pickens. And very excited about the football season ahead and all of our spring games going on locally this Thursday and Friday. And we will have updates for you right here on the program. That's going to wrap things up for this second segment. When we return, we're going to talk a little bit more regional sports. The Atlanta Hawks have a new coach, and we're not going to completely abandon high school ball. We'll get a little bit more information there for you, plus the rant of the week and all that straight ahead right here on this week's edition of the Instant Replay on FYNTV.com.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Had the time of my life. because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my life.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
Days ahead. Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
And welcome back to the program. Again, this is the Instant Replay. Excuse me, I'm Dave Garner alongside Luther Kinsey. Got a frog in my throat here. That pollen, I'm telling you, the allergies right now are absolutely killing me. But nonetheless, we're with you here Mondays, as always, live in studio. Also Monday through Thursday. You can see this show as well right here on FetcherNewsTV.com, FYNTV.com, the place for the Instant Replay. We thank you for being with us. And let's talk a little bit about regional sports here, but also a segment we call Changing of the Guard. Now, typically, anytime we have a coaching change in the area, particularly with our high school sports, we have a segment we incorporate called Changing of the Guard. But today, our Changing of the Guard segment has to do with pro sports. The Atlanta Hawks have hired a new head basketball coach, and Lloyd Pierce, who was an assistant with the 76ers, and he was one of those guys that helped rebuild the Sixers into a playoff team this year. They had struggled for so long. Lloyd Pierce, not the head coach, but assistant coach that a lot of people feel like was instrumental in that success. As a lot of folks know, the Atlanta Hawks are in a similar situation right now where they're rebuilding. They've blown up the team. They're going through the draft. They're going to have a lottery pick. I guess this week's the NBA draft. So what do you make of this? I don't know if you follow basketball too much, but it's good to see. I guess they've at least made a decision, and now they can move forward from Mike Budenholzer.
Well, I do not follow NBA a whole lot. I don't.
Yeah.
Watch the Hawks every now and then, so I am familiar with their, as you said, blowed up the team.
Right.
I've never understood why you spend the money on these guys, and it's not just in basketball, it's in others as well. You spend the money on these players, you're doing well, and then you trade them off and say it's time to rebuild.
Right, yeah.
That's my little rant of the week.
Right, yeah.
But, it's going to be good. I mean, the ownership of the Hawks, they're good at what they do. They're professional, or obviously they wouldn't own the team. And I believe they've made the right decision. You know, I mean, it's all in, just as in high school sports, how are the players going to react to him and how's he going to react to the players?
Right.
And it's going to be tougher in the NBA because they're their own individual person, as we well know.
Right.
A lot of them are charismatic, and I don't want to use the word ego, but I will.
Right.
And it's going to be just how can they gel?
Yeah, absolutely.
How can they gel?
Absolutely. I think Tony Ressler, the owner, is committed to bringing a championship. I think that they felt like being in the middle was not the place to be. They either want to be the best or you blow it up and you start over again. That's always a philosophy with a lot of NBA teams is it's better to start over again and try to be a champion than to just hang in the middle. But I hate that the Hawks had that string of playoff seasons broken, this past year. And everyone knew it was going to happen. Everyone knew what was going on there. And I think that, it's not that Budenholzer got let go because it was bad, because everyone knew it was going to be bad. I think he and Travis Schlenk, the GM, just didn't gel. And they even Schlenk said that on the radio in Atlanta, that great guy, they got along great, they just philosophically were different. And so, somebody had to go, and I think it was a mutual agreement to part ways. But now the Hawks do have their lead man in Lloyd Pierce. Let's talk a little bit about the Atlanta Braves. Again, they enter the week a game up on Philly in the Eastern standings. They had gotten swept, of course, by the Giants, but since then came back and have won 5 of 6, including a 2-game sweep over the Rays in Tampa, and also 3 of 4 from the Marlins over the weekend, as they have the Cubs and Marlins now at home on deck this week. Cubs, of course, will be interesting. But I tell you what, the Braves have been on a tear. They've really got things going. We talk about Acuna, we talk about Albies and all those guys. Batista, they'd gotten from the Blue Jays, but he hadn't played. He's been kind of slow starting out. Third base prospect Austin Riley is tearing it up at Gwinnett. I think it's only a matter of time probably before they even call up some even younger guys, even more younger guys, onto this already young team that's really, really putting it out there.
Well, but Batista, he's not old, but in the game of baseball, he's old.
Right, yeah.
And he's had some issues in the past where he was very outspoken, and some issues were raised about that coming to Atlanta. And he's done very well. As a person with his personality, he hasn't let that personality go.
Sure.
And he's remained good to the game of baseball, which I really like and I'm very proud of.
Right.
But it will come out.
Right, yeah.
So those young guys that you're talking about, they need to be ready.
Right.
They need to be ready. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen,
It's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Like I've said the last couple of weeks, I'm excited, for the first time in a while about the Atlanta Braves. And when you think about the flagship teams in Atlanta, and not even in Atlanta, but in the South, in the Southeast, especially baseball, there's not a lot of professional baseball teams in the Southeast. I mean, the Braves, for a long time, have had a large fan base across the country. Back when they were on Turner, TBS, for all those years as the lone game in town, you had them, you had the Mets, and you had the Cubs, and WGN that were like those national teams with those networks. So the Braves, again, though, haven't done a lot over the last several years, but I'm excited about the Atlanta Braves, the direction they're headed. And again, we're going to talk more about the Braves and all the teams this week, especially when we get into summer and we're bridging those gaps to the high school football season. We're going to have a lot more Braves discussion over the next couple of weeks. But I do want to move on to Atlanta United. Now, you and I, we talked about soccer and so forth, and there's a lot of soccer fans out there. There's a lot of folks that are not soccer fans out there. But the Atlanta United, it's hard, even if you're not a soccer fan, it's hard to not get excited about the Atlanta United. They had a busy week last week. They lost on Wednesday at home to Sporting KC, only their second defeat of the year, but they turned it around on Sunday and won down in Orlando City 2-1 against a rival, if you will. Orlando City has certainly become a rival. They hate us, we hate them. But Ezekiel Barco, the phenom teenager, with his second goal, and Martinez added his 8th. It's a tied for the league lead. He did it on a PK there. And 3 matches in 8 days. Atlanta United 2-1 overall, but more importantly, 6 points. They lead all the standings, even though they got beat by KC. They still have more points than them. KC's in the west of Sporting KC, and of course, a lot of people have called them Sporting KFC. But the Atlanta United, of course, still with the what they call, I guess, the Silver Cup standings or whatever. There's a name for it, but they are the overall leader right now in the MLS.
There's not much you can say bad about it.
Right.
And, the little phenom is only going to get better.
Oh, yeah.
And, you got to watch these young guys.
No doubt
That's
about
what
it.
worries us is being old. Who's the next young guy going to come in and host a show?
Well, it's like we were talking about, exactly. But like we were talking about with Batista, that came in for Atlanta. I mean, all of a sudden he's that guy that's sitting there. The younger guys are pushing him. But this Atlanta United team has a lot of depth, and that's I think that's the difference really from last year in the inaugural season to this year's the amount of depth we have. We were playing with a backup goalkeeper yesterday. He had 5 saves, nearly pitched a shutout, basically, to use a baseball analogy. But Ken did a great job yesterday for us. And the Atlanta United, again, we're going to talk a little bit later in the next segment here coming up in just a minute with the rant of the week that kind of goes back to the Atlanta United versus Orlando City matchup right there. Quickly, and then we'll let you get out of here. Matt Ryan's contract, we didn't touch on this too much on the last show there, but Matt Ryan, again, Falcon, at least for the next 5 or 6 years, $150 million, 100 guaranteed over 5 years. I think a 6-year option that would probably take him towards the end of his career. There may be another year or two after that, potentially. He's 37. It would take him to 42 or so. So we'll see how that goes. But that's a lot of money. But he's been the face of the franchise for a long time. I know there's a lot of folks that have opinions about the contracts, especially at the professional levels. We're going to talk about that probably on another show or two down the road. But what do you think about that big pile of money?
Some games he's worth it. Some games he's not.
Amen.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Ryan overall is, in my opinion, not only because I'm a Falcons fan, but because I'm a football fan.
Right.
Is probably in the elite quarterbacks of the NFL. He is in the top 3, without a doubt, in my mind. And in order to keep players these days that are that good, unfortunately, right, you have to give them that money.
Yeah. Sometimes it works that way. Yeah, no doubt about it.
There are too many players, not only in NFL but others, that are just way overpaid. But if you want your fans to come see you and you want to win games, you have to spend that money to get them. Yep. And Matt Ryan is it's a good paycheck.
There we go.
Very good paycheck. I hope he don't get hurt.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I may have just jinxed it, but I'm
knock on wood, yeah.
First thing scares me, large contract injury.
Right, I know. And if you're an Atlanta sports fan, it's not a defeatist attitude, it's just reality. It's happened so much over the years, so hopefully things will work out there. Well, Luther, thanks for being with us on this third segment of the program. We've still got one more straight ahead, including our rant of the week. Stay with us. The instant replay rolls on right here on FYNTV.com. Stay with us.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Here's to 60 years of Pizza Hut, to original pan, to stuffed crust, and to the best of both. The new double cheesy crust pan pizza with stuffed crust cheese baked just inside the golden edge of original pan. Here for a limited time. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World. And we welcome you back to the program right here again, the instant replay on FYNTV.com. I'm your host, Dave Garner. We've got about 10 minutes or a little less left right here on the show today as we enter our fourth quarter segment of the program. What a show we've had. I want to thank Luther Kinsey for providing us with a lot of good high school information here today, and stepping in as my co-host. Amanda Evans behind the glass as well, and the rest of our Fetcher News crew. Again, this show live online Monday mornings at 10 a.m., 10 to 11 right here on FYNTV.com. We're all over it if it happens in North Georgia, and we appreciate you guys being on board with it. We're always highlighting, promoting student athletes in a positive way, and you can help us out. Again, if we're not getting a lot of information out of your area, then feel free to help us right here, and we'll give you credit for it. That's right. You can always call us at 706-889-9700, or you can email us with your information at teamfynsports@fetchyournews.com. Again, teamfynsports@fetchyournews.com. We left off segment 3 talking a little bit about the Matt Ryan contract. I know there's a lot of folks out there that say that professional athletes get paid way too much and those sorts of things. And next week, or in the next couple weeks, I guess we should say, depending on what happens, we're going to talk a little bit about that as sort of a rant of the week type segment. We're going to talk a little bit about contracts. Do these guys deserve it? Or do they not? Are professional athletes paid too much? You've heard college athletes. There's the big debate about whether or not college athletes should be paid and so forth. And so there's these debates that ramble on, and folks are typically on one side or the other. There's not a lot of folks that are on the fence about that. And so that's going to lead us to some future good rants of the week right here on the Instant Replay. But speaking of, we do have a rant of the week this week. And we also left off talking in the last segment about the Atlanta United taking on Orlando City Sunday night in Orlando. And at the conclusion of that game, or in the waning minutes, I guess I should say, of that ball game, upset fans tossed beer bottles and other objects onto the field and at Atlanta United players in the final moments of Sunday's match after a no call. Now, if you look at the replay there, it does look like the guy kind of took a dive. He was trying to draw a foul to get a free kick towards the end of that game. He was very livid about not getting the call, was issued a yellow card, but it wasn't so much that bothered me as much as it was the fans and their reaction. Now, tossing stuff onto a field is nothing new. This is reminiscent of when Earnhardt Senior fans tossed beer bottles and all kinds of things onto the track at Talladega after Jeff Gordon broke his record for the most wins at Talladega. Of course, as you may or may not know, if you follow NASCAR, Talladega is a big Earnhardt track still to this day, and they didn't take too kindly to Jeff Gordon, who of course they hate, breaking Earnhardt's record. But yesterday that scene was kind of reminiscent of that to me. The only difference here, though, is these are people. Those were cars. Okay, they hate us and we hate them, and that's why this Atlanta United Orlando City matchup has become so interesting. And you see why this now has become a rivalry. One word to me: classless. I mean, soccer hooligans have long had a reputation of being violent, even depending on the outcome of their team's performance.
But this is Orlando, folks. This is a city that embraces so many different cultures and so many different kinds of people, but yet they can't embrace good sportsmanship. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me that fans would react the way they would, especially for an MLS matchup. You know, you hear about all these things happening overseas and South America and different parts of the world where folks get killed, you know, and things like that. But right here in the United States, we have our own set of soccer hooligans, and they're called the Orlando City Soccer Fans. Unbelievable was the scene there yesterday, and that is my rant of the week. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about some coaching changes. We've talked about a lot of different things here today. A lot of great high school sports towards the front end of this program here today. Let's talk in the final minutes that we have about the best of the rest, which is our national sports update. We'll fly through it. How many folks this weekend saw the PGA Players Championship? Man, what a tournament it was. Webb Simpson goes minus 18 for the win. Tiger shot well. Attention is coming back with a superstar in the lineup. That's not to take away from stars like Jordan Spieth and you know, Bubba Watson, some of those guys, but anytime Tiger is in the lineup, it's just different. It just is. So it was great to see Tiger play well. I think he finished tied for 11th overall. But Webb Simpson, man, 18 under par. What a performance right there. Not a course record. Well off, I believe, Nicklaus's Players Championship record, but still Simpson with his with a good tournament there. Hadn't won, I believe, since 2012 or so. So a big win. NBA playoffs. Celtics over Cavs in Game 1. I think that's going to be a great series. I'd be surprised if the thing doesn't go 7. Warriors, Rockets squaring off earlier in the week as well. I think that's going to be a good series that could very well go back and forth. If you follow the NBA, I think you're in for a couple of good series. I don't see a sweep either way here like we saw a series before, but at the end of the day, I still think, I could be wrong, a lot of folks think it could be Rockets Celtics. I still feel like we're looking at Cavs Warriors 4, sequel of a sequel of a sequel here, but we'll wait and see how it goes. NASCAR, speaking of, Kevin Harvick wins again. He won at Dover last week and he wins at Kansas this weekend. His 5th win of the young season. Kyle Busch, though, still remarkably a face of consistency, still leading the Cup standings right now in NASCAR, and that is a look at some of our national headlines right here on the Instant Replay. What a show it's been. As I told you guys early in the show, what we're going to do over the next couple weeks is really dive more into the football season leading up to kickoff in August. But we're going to take a look at the schedules. We're going to dive into those on a more week-to-week basis. Take a look at a school or two, take a look at some of the highlighted matchups that we'll see throughout the year, and of course next week right here on the program we will have a recap of some of the spring football games for you that took place, or that are taking place, I guess, towards the end of this week, and we're excited about that. So we've had a great show for you today. We also talked a little bit about track and field. Congratulations once again to Olivia Moore, the 4A state pole vault champion from Pickens High School. She is headed to Georgia Tech, and just what an effort there. 13 feet 7 inches. That is a state championship record, and also second all-time Georgia outdoor competition as well. So wow, I mean, just wow is all you can say there. We focused earlier in the show on the Dawson County soccer program, the adversity that they went through, especially the Lady Tigers this year with the loss of their coach right at the beginning of the school year, and also one of their top players as well, and Grace Shear, who tragically passed away. So again, our team of the week, if you will, is those Dawson County Lady Tiger soccer team, finishing their season in the second round of the playoffs. We also talked a little bit about first team, second team honors, and Coach Hamby being chosen for 7 AAA honors as well. And of course, we talked about taking it to the next level with former Union County Lady Panther Lakin Chambers, now a freshman at the University of North Georgia, where she is excelling in the circle as a softball pitcher for the Nighthawks, who are now continuing into the Super Regional, which starts this Thursday up in Dahlonega at North Georgia. So we're excited about that. Spring football practice and the Dragon Stadium update. Everything is coming together. I love it when a plan comes together, and that's what's happening in Pickens County right now with the new Dragon Stadium, and we're excited about the spring game on Friday night and being able to see everyone in action at the new stadium. I got a feeling there's going to be a good crowd out there for that, no doubt about it. But we appreciate you guys being with us. We hope to hear from you. You can call us every Monday morning live from 10 to 11 a.m. right here on FYNTV.com. This has been the Instant Replay for Luther Kinsey and Amanda Evans. I'm Dave Garner saying so long, everyone. We'll see you next week.